Of all the foods that cause a dilemma for people managing diabetes, bread often tops the list. It's comforting, easy to include in many meals, and a staple that many don't want to give up. But for diabetics, it's also the kind of food that can push blood sugar levels on a roller coaster ride. Most breads are made from refined flour that breaks down quickly in the body, turning into sugar and causing an unwanted spike in blood glucose. So, what if there were bread options out there that didn't just avoid these spikes, but actually helped in maintaining or even lowering blood sugar levels? Before we continue, I'd like to tell you about Diacelan, a powerful blend of 13 natural ingredients, each carefully selected for their proven ability to support healthy blood sugar levels, enhance insulin sensitivity, and promote overall wellness. You can read more on diacelan.com. The first thing we need to think about when selecting bread for diabetes is the glycemic index. The glycemic index, or GI, measures how fast the carbohydrates in food turn into sugar in the bloodstream. The higher the GI, the faster the sugar rush. Most traditional white bread, and even a lot of so-called whole wheat bread, falls into the high GI category. This means they're going to convert to sugar fast and cause those unwanted blood sugar spikes. To counter this, low GI bread choices are often recommended for people with diabetes. Some varieties of bread incorporate ingredients that have a slower digestion process, like whole grains, seeds, and fiber, all of which contribute to a lower glycemic index. One good place to start is with 100% whole grain or whole wheat bread. Whole grains digest more slowly compared to refined flour, providing a slower, more stable release of glucose into the blood. Studies have found that whole grain consumption can lead to improved insulin sensitivity, which is critical for individuals managing diabetes. Additionally, whole grain breads have higher amounts of fiber, which helps delay the absorption of carbohydrates. One type of bread that has been especially gaining popularity among health-conscious individuals and diabetics alike is sourdough bread. What makes sourdough different is the fermentation process. Made with wild yeast and lactic acid bacteria, sourdough undergoes a slow fermentation that makes it more digestible. This process changes the structure of the bread and lowers its glycemic index compared to conventional bread. Several studies have found that sourdough bread has a much more moderate effect on blood sugar levels compared to white bread. The acidity from the fermentation process slows down carbohydrate digestion, which means it won't cause a rapid spike in blood sugar. Beyond being delicious, this bread offers a stable way to enjoy toast without wreaking havoc on glucose levels. Rye bread also deserves mention, especially when it comes to lower blood sugar impact. Rye has less of an effect on blood sugar compared to wheat bread. It's got fiber, a decent protein content, and a bunch of other nutrients that can help slow digestion. Some studies point out that rye bread can increase insulin sensitivity and have a more favorable effect on post-meal blood sugar levels. But it's important to make sure it's made from whole rye flour, not refined rye, which has similar problems to refined wheat. The dense, dark rye bread, often called pumpernickel, is an example of a good choice, as it often contains no added sugar and is rich in fiber. Speaking of fiber, fiber is really the secret weapon here. It acts like a superhero for your blood sugar, slowing down the digestion of carbohydrates and helping to keep things level. If you've ever heard of the term net carbs, it's the total carbs minus the fiber, and it's an important metric for diabetics. The more fiber in your bread, the less of an impact on your blood sugar. For example, some breads now include added ingredients like flax seeds or chia seeds to bump up the fiber content. These tiny powerhouses are rich in soluble fiber, which has shown in numerous studies to slow glucose absorption and improve blood sugar management. If we shift gears to sprouted grain bread, we enter another exciting territory for those looking for a diabetic-friendly option. Sprouted grain bread is made from whole grains that have started germinating, which transforms the grain starches into simpler compounds. The sprouting process breaks down some of the starches in the grains, effectively lowering their glycemic load. Sprouted grain bread tends to be higher in protein, fiber, and a variety of micronutrients than traditional bread. Research suggests that sprouted grains may improve insulin sensitivity, making this type of bread an excellent choice for those looking to avoid sharp spikes in blood sugar. You can often recognize sprouted grain bread from brands like Ezekiel, which use no refined flours and contain a mix of different sprouted grains and legumes, all working to keep those blood sugar levels in check. One more intriguing bread type for diabetics is oat bread. Oats, as many people know, are celebrated for their cholesterol-lowering properties, but they're also a wonderful choice for blood sugar control. Oats contain beta-glucan, a type of soluble fiber that has been proven to help manage blood glucose levels effectively. By using oats in the bread mix, you get a product that digests more slowly, which helps with stabilizing blood sugar. It's the fiber in oats that makes them so beneficial, and having that fiber in a bread form can be an enjoyable and practical way to improve one's diet. An often overlooked bread option is bread made from almond flour or coconut flour. Though not technically bread in the traditional sense, these are incredibly low in carbohydrates, which is precisely what makes them such a good option for diabetics. Almond flour is high in protein, fiber, and healthy fats, while being very low in carbohydrates, making it a keto-friendly choice that won't raise your blood sugar levels. Bread made from almond or coconut flour can provide the satisfaction of eating bread without the carb content that typically causes blood sugar to rise. Now, all these options are definitely helpful, but there's still one bread that stands out above the rest if the goal is not just maintaining blood sugar, but actually helping to lower it. Here's where it gets interesting, and this is why this bread is saved for last. It's barley bread. Barley is one of those grains that doesn't always get the spotlight, but it really deserves it. Barley is rich in a particular kind of soluble fiber called beta-glucan, much like oats, but often even more concentrated. Research has shown that beta-glucans can significantly lower the glycemic response of a meal. When beta-glucan is consumed, it forms a gel-like substance in the digestive tract that slows down carbohydrate absorption, which helps stabilize blood sugar levels. One particular study from the Lund University in Sweden found that people who consumed barley bread for breakfast had significantly lower blood sugar levels, not just immediately afterward, but even hours later at lunch and dinner. That's because the barley has a positive second meal effect, which means it continues to help your body manage glucose more effectively well beyond when you eat it. Imagine having a slice of toast in the morning and reaping the benefits for your entire day. That's the power of barley bread. This makes it not only a great option for diabetics, but also an incredibly proactive food that can have a tangible impact on blood sugar management throughout the day. While the concept of bread being something that helps reduce blood sugar may seem contradictory, with the right ingredients and smart choices, it's absolutely achievable. Barley bread, sourdough, sprouted grain, and even bread made from alternative flours like almond and coconut can all make a real difference. Bread, when chosen wisely, doesn't need to be an enemy of blood sugar control. Instead, it can be an enjoyable part of your diet that helps you maintain stable glucose levels, keeps you fuller for longer, and even assists in better blood sugar management throughout the day. And if you find barley bread and give it a try, you might just find yourself benefiting from that lasting second meal effect. And really, who wouldn't want that?